Hey, this is Claudine painting food once again, and I'm painting an ube spread. When I think of comfort, I think of ube and not my childhood. And this is not meant to put any negative projections on my caretakers, but more so on myself as a child with a very anxious outlook on life. I didn't know it was anxiety until I grew up, though. But I'm healed now! More on that later. This painting is inspired by the thick, purpley goodness that is ube, a Filipino purple yam. However, back to my main point. I've been thinking a lot about comfort lately, and for me, it's certainty. Certainty that things will work out, all your loved ones are safe, and you have full confidence in yourself that your ventures will become successful. Starting off this painting did not feel certain. I didn't know if it would work out in the way I'd want it to. I even made a pretty big mistake later on in this painting. You'll see. I think it's because I didn't really have a well thought out plan on the composition. It's kind of how I've operated my life for a long time, and I'm working on it, I promise. I'm still getting comfortable with exploring color theory because I felt like it was my biggest weakness as an artist. I wasn't really aware of color theory until I grew up. When I was younger, I was just like, well, let's just slap all my favorite things together and with any color I liked in that moment. I never overthought it or criticized my color choices. I just liked to create. And this is what this painting felt like. This is my take on an ube spread, which is a play on words because there's an ube spread in here. And also, it is a spread of different ube desserts. Painting it kind of feels like going to the Filipino bakery with my parents and looking at the cake rolls behind the cold glass of the refrigerated cake section. If you grew up in a Filipino household, chances are you've had ube. Or if you've had any Filipino friends or colleagues, they've probably tried to offer you a Filipino dessert that has ube in it. If they haven't offered you any food in general, we must revoke their Filipino cards. I feel like ube has hit the mainstream foodie space hard recently, and I'm glad, because growing up, Filipino food wasn't really as popular as other Asian cuisines in the US, and I'm happy there's more Filipino food representation happening currently. If I had to describe ube's flavor to someone who's never had it before, I'd just Google it. Google describes it as a unique blend of sweet, nutty, and slightly vanilla-like notes with a hint of coconut or even a hint of roasty, toasty chestnut. It's distinct from sweet potatoes or yams, offering a richer, more complex taste profile. Okay, Google, I kind of agree. I even asked my sister, who's a professional food content creator. She said, actual ube, earthy, not sweet, very purple. Commercialized ube, like a blend between purple sweet potato and vanilla. I said, purple is a crazy flavor profile to say. She said, I think the color adds to the senses. I feel like the stronger the color of something, the stronger the flavor. And I was like, you know what? That actually makes sense to me. For this piece, I used acrylic gouache because I love the softness and texture that the gouache gives, which is balanced by the water resistance of the acrylic blend. Funnily enough, it kind of reminds me of how thick and creamy ube halaya looks when it's just been made. Ube halaya is, for lack of better words, ube jam, which is made out of combining ube, coconut milk, sugar, and optional butter or condensed milk. I started with a super rough pencil sketch and I just let it be a little messy. I didn't want to overthink it. Just as I had mentioned before, I didn't plan this out very well since I changed the base layer's color so many times. I layered the purples, added golden toast edges, and I built it up slowly, kind of like adding ingredients together before it slowly bakes. The irony of this whole piece is why it's important to me and the lessons I want to pass on to my loved ones and future children. When inspiration strikes, you just have to go for it. Mistakes will be made along the way, but I truly believe that all mistakes can be fixed. Life is very forgiving, just like paint. You can just paint over it and start something new. The cool part about your proverbial life's painting is that you know how many layers it took to get there. It makes the painting underneath even more interesting. When I hear about famous artists who have hidden art underneath their paintings, I'm immediately intrigued. It's like Picasso's 1902 piece, which I just Googled, The Crouching Beggar. Apparently there's a whole landscape he painted under it. Isn't that so cool? It's a cool way to reframe your mistakes. It's like a hidden Easter egg that makes you even more valuable as a person. And me saying I was healed in the beginning was sarcasm if you didn't catch it. We're all striving to be better versions of ourselves, and you're good enough as you come at this moment, as Nirvana says, with cherry on top upgrades to come along the way. Healing is just a lifelong journey, and it takes the pressure off of life and yourself if you see it that way. I don't know if you can tell, but I loved this painting so much to the point where my eyes actually ached. It was 12 hours. And I turned it into an art print so I can multiply the piece as much as I can. It's now in my shop along with a few other cozy food pieces I've made. If you ever want a reminder of finding comfort through your mistakes, or you just love ube as much as I do, you can check it out. It's been a childhood dream of mine to create and share my art with as many people as possible, so your support will mean the world to me. Sometimes you just have to dive for something even if there's no structured plan. You can figure it out along the way and create something so beautiful like this ube spread. Thanks for spending time with me while I paint and ramble about food once again. If you want to see more of my food art or listen to more stories like this, I'd love if you subscribe. I have a lot more I'd love to share with you. Until next time, bye!